Hello and welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be having a look at Algorand. We've had this nice move up and we're starting to actually break down. So we're going to be discussing a few options. So make sure you stay to the end of the video so you see all the potentials, the bearish and the bullish potentials that we have out of this move. Before we jump into that, I would just like to say thank you for watching. If you're new to the channel, please smash that like button. If you aren't new but you watch the videos and haven't subscribed, you may as well hit that subscribe button. Turn on those bell notifications so you get kept up to date with all the latest content on Algo. Okay, so we're going to get into it now. Basically, within this structure, what we were talking about is a few things. We were talking about we could have had a low point here. And we were talking about the potential of coming up and retesting this channel, and we have done this now. So now we've actually started to get a bit of rejection off of this. It's not confirmed yet, and we haven't moved away enough that we can sort of confirm it. It could just be a fake out to the downside, and then we've managed to move back up and look to push up one more time. So within this structure, basically we're talking about a few things. So the bullish potential within this is that we're actually looking at a 5-wave move. So this might look a bit complicated, but we're going to go over it. So within this, what we're looking at is the potential that we had a wave 1 move down here, and then we actually look to extend up here, and potentially now we are within this green 4th wave. The 4th wave, the thing is with this move, in order for us to count this as a valid 4th in this position, what we'd have to do is we would have to effectively look at this as a triangle here. We were initially looking at this as this 4th, but we've come down too low and we've actually crossed this high point, so we have to reevaluate it. It is possible that we can still count this in this way, but we would have to assume that this ends with a diagonal in this 5th wave. And I'm always cautious when it comes to diagonals, because sometimes they can be, the way we subdivide them, we can also count them as a corrective structure. So we just need to be aware that this could actually be we just have to be careful with this, because if we are looking at this as a diagonal and it's not a diagonal, it could be a connector wave, and this is just an A, B, and a C to the downside, in which case it would probably fit into one of the other counts better. So we're going to go over that anyway. But basically what we'd be looking for here is the potential to move up into this 2653 area to this 2505. And we were talking about this previously, that we could also look at this channel slightly differently within the moves that we have at the bottom here. And basically we could, this would be a bigger channel. Let me zoom out a little bit here so we can see it. So looking at this bigger channel line, we could still look to potentially test this out. So within this smaller time frame, basically what we're looking at is, if this is the case, what we'd be expecting is to actually have a 4th wave location here. And then we could be looking to start to form a 5-wave move up here. So what we then want to see is basically a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, basically looking to target out this 2653 to this 2505. So that's what we'd be looking out for within this move. We haven't got enough confirmation yet, but it is starting to move away from here. So it is possible. So we got two ways that we can look at this. So either we're going to have this as a 5-wave move like this, where we have this as a wave 1, 2. Then basically within this move, it wouldn't be completed and we're within this 3rd wave. So there's two options basically within this move. We can look at it as a 1, 2, 3 up into here. We're forming a 4th and we're going to push up one more time for that 5th wave. So that would lead me to believe that we're still within this 3rd wave here. Once we've completed this 3rd wave, which the typical zone that it would look to complete would be this 2213. Once we move past that point, effectively we would be looking for this 4th wave to the downside and then a 5th wave up. So it depends exactly. Unfortunately, the structure here is not great for counting the waves, so it is possible that there is further extension. We could come up and just cross this point, or alternatively we could be following the other option, which we're going to go through. Basically we could see this move up here, get this 4th, and then push back up. If we do hit this this point here and we don't have too much extension, so we move a lot higher, what I'd then be looking for is a move to this 2183 and a 2150 as a back test for this 4th wave. So this 4th wave would then look to come back into here, and then we'd look to actually push to the upside. Upwards targets of this, should this hold, would be this 2228 to this 2249. That would be a zone we'd be looking for this 5th wave, should we look to push up from this zone here. So like I was saying, basically we've got this potential of having a 5-wave move like this. If we form this 3rd wave and then we actually break down below this 2153, we have to then be careful, because either this is an ABC and it's going to break lower, and it's going to be a continuation pattern to the downside, which we're going to go over as well. And or alternatively, we have something else going on. So this simple 5-wave move count relies on us holding above this 2153. We'd be looking for this third wave to come up, look for a fourth wave, and then have that fifth wave push to the upside. The other alternative is that we have something like this playing out. So we're counting this slightly different. So this is if we don't actually manage to push back up here for this fifth wave, or even in fact if we do push up and then we look to retrace. What we'd be looking for is the potential we could be starting a move here as a 1-2-1-2, and then we'd be looking for that third wave to the upside. So from the current position, I've done this from here, but if we do push up here, it would change the target zone slightly, but the idea would be the same. We'd be looking for this as a 1, this is a 2, sorry, this is a 1-2, then looking at this move as a 1-2 if it pulls down deeper and crosses this wave 1 high. Then basically we'd be looking for the support zone here. So that would be the 0.5 to the 0.786. If we do manage to find that support, then we could be talking about a much bigger push up here. And what we'd be looking for then is basically moving up towards this 2320 for confirmation of the first leg of this 5-wave move. If we do get something like that, effectively this would then set us up for a much bigger 5-wave move, because we'd have to count this as a 1, 2, 3. We'd look for that fourth again, look for that fifth wave to the upside. Then from there we would be expecting an additional fourth and fifth. These aren't the best practice with these is to anticipate the fourth but not act as if this is a guaranteed thing. So sometimes what we could get is we can get waves that move up and they trick us into thinking that they're 5-wave moves and they're not, so we got to be careful with that as well. Sometimes if you get a triple zigzag or a double zigzag on the way up, you can kind of count it as a 5-wave move, but it's not really. So we'd be anticipating that fourth wave pullback again, basically into the same zone as this fourth wave once it's formed, and then looking to push up one more time. This would be provided that there isn't any further extension within the waves, and that basically this third wave only goes to this 1.618. Sometimes this third wave might push up higher, in which case they would be looking for us to hit this target zone. If we only hit this this 2320, it is possible that we could actually truncate here and potentially only just look to break this third wave high and not quite get up back into that zone. If that's the case, we could then actually look to potentially look at this channel line again and potentially test it. But like I said, we also need to be careful because we've broken back into this channel and it is possible we could actually just look for some further rejection here. So this is pretty much the bullish count within the move. So the other way we can look at more upside is if I turn these all off. We were talking about the potential of this being a W, X, Y, X, and a Z. So for the most part, this could be still playing out. We would have to look at this as a as another X wave here. But the problem is normally these develop within a channel. So it would make me worried that either we have this as a WX, so basically a WXY up, and then we could actually look at a bigger move here where this is a W, this becomes an X wave, and then we look to push up one more time with the Y wave. So it's just something, it's too early to tell with this. We've got to see how it reacts because that fourth wave is still viable as a, well, this fifth wave is still viable as a normal 5-wave structure. However, if we do start to break down from here, then it would be possible that actually we've just instead of having a W, X, Y, Z, what we've done is we've just formed from here a W, an X, and a Y, and actually looking to break down. So this is what I'm saying. Sometimes we can get moves like this because we can count this as a basically a double zigzag within this move as well. So we've got to be careful. There is ways of counting within the substructures so that you can get it to a 5-wave, but there is also a way of counting it like this. If this is the case, what I'd actually be expecting is continuation to the downside from here. So either we would look to find support in this green box, and we would then look for a move to the downside, potentially like this, into this zone, and then we could look for that continuation. Or alternatively, this could be a completed move, and then we could actually start to form a much bigger move to the downside in a 5-wave move. And what we'd then be looking for potentially is to form this as a wave 1, come back up for a wave 2, look for that third wave down, fourth and fifth. So we've got to just be careful. That would then take out these lows here and actually make me look for much deeper within this price, because what I'd be then looking at is the fact that this is an A, B, and a C into this low. This is an A wave connector, and then we'd be looking for something much deeper in this, a much deeper pullback to the downside within this. So we just got to be a bit careful with this. See if we manage to hold these support zones, but basically losing this 1598 would invalidate any bullish potential from that low point. If we cross back below that, it would be invalidated as a potential bullish breakout from this zone. So talking about more bearish potential, basically what we would be looking at is the potential that within this, so either we can, so basically within this, what I'm looking at in these subwaves here is the fact that we could make a 5-wave move down. So the 5-wave move would be looking at this slightly different as a 1, 2. Then this is a diagonal, expanding diagonal for this wave 1, 2, 3, looking for this as a 4th wave. So the invalidation of this current count would come by actually breaking this 2226 area. And what we'd be looking at here is effectively this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then looking for that as a 5th wave to the downside. However, we also need to just bear in mind that we could still see this play out, but in a slightly different way. And what we could still see is the fact that this then becomes a 1, 2, and when we look to break down. So ideally, if we are looking for the bullish potential, we want to wait, well, we want confirmation will come really by breaking back above these high points. So this 2365, and then also this area here, which is 2417. Until we actually break back above there, we need to be a bit cautious with this because this could actually look to break down. So that's just something we've got to bear in mind when we're looking at these moves, that we do have the potential to break down further. So just be careful with this. Because even if this forms a 1, 2 and then a 1, 2, basically we could push back up all the way to sort of this zone here. So the 50% would be right on this channel line, and then effectively the 0.618 would be just through it, which would also be back testing some of these zones which we've lost. So we just need to be careful that we don't actually move back up into this previous support zone we had, get rejected and move away again. So if we do actually move up and do something like that, basically it depends exactly where we move to, but if we had to say we moved up to the 0.618 zone, confirmation of a bigger 5-wave move would come by dropping back down below this 1823. So that's just something we need to bear in mind. It hasn't broken this low point yet, so this could still look to that bullish option where we form that 5th wave up. But we need to just bear in mind that if we fail to take these high points, then we can always extend to the downside. So within this, I'm looking at this as a 4th wave. Like I said here, it gets invalidated by moving back above this 226. If we do get this 5th wave pushed to the downside, what we'd be looking for is a target in this 20 cent 47 to this 20 cent 02, before looking for an additional 4th wave up and a 5th wave to the downside. That would potentially, as long as we don't get further extension within this, that would potentially look to hit this 1995 to this 1943 zone. So that would also put us quite into the top range of the support box. But as a 5-wave move, we would anticipate that we would get a 3-wave move to the upside and then a continuation down. So we just got to give it a bit more time, see what happens. There's a few options here, so I hope you found value in that if it stops following one, you can potentially switch over to the next. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed, and if you're watching the algo videos and you haven't subscribed, you may as well hit them. We do update it on a regular basis, so you might want to hit that so you can be kept up to date. Also in the description below, you'll find a link to the Discord. Why not come and join us there? It's a great place to meet like-minded people. Once in the general chat area, just mention a member of staff and we'll be happy to help you out. Also in the description, there's an affiliate link for BYBIT and PrimeXBT, both great exchanges. We use them on a regular basis. Joe's often setting up trades with PrimeXBT and BYBIT, to be fair. But yeah, we also like to encourage our community to set up trades amongst themselves, and we discuss ideas within the community. So yeah, come have a look. It really is a great place. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there. I hope everyone has a great day. We'll see you in the next video. Take care, everyone.